Amid trade negotiations between India and the US, the Commerce Ministry, including Union Minister Piyush Goyal, plans to meet and consult with export promotion councils. This is as per sources. My colleague Rishabh joins us. Rishabh, what are you gathering from your sources? If you could help us understand, because this is an important aspect when it comes to bilateral trade and the reciprocal tariffs.
Right, Hiral, what we're hearing from our sources is that the 14 export promotion councils that come under the Ministry of Commerce are set to meet today. Union Minister Piyush Goyal is expected to be in attendance. The meeting will start at about 4:30, and the main points of discussions will be, like you said, around the tariff uncertainties that have been causing a lot of exporters to sort of hold back. That is what we learned earlier in this week, is that there are issues with regards to containers and shipments. Exporters trying for them to not be stuck in the middle of nowhere, given that how uncertain the tariff sort of scenario is currently. So the government is also sort of doing a lot to boost their support for these exporters. They are expediting the implementation of the various budget initiatives and the incentives that they had promised, which includes access to credit, export credit, as well as a lot of cross-bordering factoring support. So stuff like this we will see being implemented in the next month. That comes from the government in terms of supporting the exporters.
Right. Thank you, Rishabh, for getting us the details. Stay with us as well, because now we've been joined by Dr. Ajay Sahai, DG and CEO at FIEO. Dr. Sahai, good afternoon and welcome to the show. My first question coming to you is what Rishabh was talking to us with regards to the trade negotiations between India and the US. Now, what is the ask over here according to you? Because the meeting is with 14 EPCs, which will be held virtually. If you could help us with some details on it.
In fact, the agenda of the meeting is not available to us. Okay. It may be on the overall export scenario also, how Indian exports have performed, what are the challenges faced by the export sector, how we are moving in the next financial year. These may be the issue, though of course, probably the trade industry would like to know what is the way forward for dealing with the tariff war in the US, because we are seeing opportunities also into that. So as of now, we are not certain whether it will be entirely focusing on the US tariff, or on the sidelines, the US tariff issue may be flagged. I personally feel it is more to do with the overall scenario for exports.
So, Dr. Sahai, stay with us. So clearly, from what you're seeing in terms of the meeting, what is your expectation from your side? Because the talks are expected to revolve around the reciprocal tariffs, the proposed India-US bilateral trade, the compliance burdens around rules of origin in overseas market, supply chain issues due to the trade war. That is what the sources are indicating to us, right? Now, according to you, what is the most pressing area that you will be looking at?
In fact, if you recall, FM in the budget has already announced about an export promotion mission, which entails increasing the flow of credit and the cost of credit, then making factoring as an instrument for financing exports, and also dealing with the non-tariff measures. So if we take it from there only, we have come to know that government is considering all these proposals. And that is something which may be highlighted by the industry, as the cost of trade has become extremely important with the high inflation rate across the globe, and buyers are also hard pressed for the liquidity, and they are asking for longer period of credit. Non-tariff measures, we all know, are gaining ground, and probably the industry would require some kind of support, particularly the MSMEs, so that the cost of certification and testing may be partly borne by the government. We are also looking into how we can increase our market access also. And as part of that, whether to look into the increasing opportunity which will come to India in the form of the high tariff on some of the partner countries, how we can take advantage of that by better showcasing of the Indian products, and also tying up with the importer retailers as well as the importers in US.
Dr. Sahai, lovely to be talking to you. Rishabh here. Thanks for connecting again. Just one question that I had. We have this April 2nd deadline sort of hanging over our necks now. Lots of debate back and forth on how these reciprocal tariffs will affect India. You being the head of India's apex exports body, how are you seeing exporters prepare for that deadline, right? Is that a very serious deadline that you guys are looking at?
When I'm looking into the overall context that the top leadership have already met and they have decided that we will be moving towards Mission 500, that means taking our bilateral trade from current level of $200 billion to $500 billion, and we will have multi-sectoral bilateral trade agreements also. So I'm pretty sure that tariff will be part of the BTA. It will be a comprehensive one and probably maybe concluded in parts. And since we are already engaged with the US and negotiating with some kind of tariff preference, where we will be having our wish list and probably US will also be having its wish list. And therefore, I feel that the 2nd April deadline may not apply to India, and probably it may be deferred for India because we are constructively engaged with the US.
Right. Dr. Sahai, also, there is a crucial meeting that's happening today. You already spoke about the key demands that exporters are putting through. What are you seeing currently? Earlier in the week, we met sources also told us that there is some sort of holding back that exporters are doing. What sort of an impact can we foresee in the February trade data that will come out on March 17th?
So I don't think there will be much change into that. If you are looking into some front loading of the export, where exporter may be thinking that there may be reciprocal tariff coming on 2nd of April, some shipment by air may be possible because you cannot manage shipment through sea in such a short span of time because goods have to land in US before that and it has to be cleared. So maybe it's a very small fraction of shipment by air may be added, that may be front loaded also. Otherwise, it will be export as usual. We are looking into little encouraging number of March because company wants to meet the good deadline so that they can have better balance sheet also. And therefore, we are little positive about our export number in the month of March.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sahai, for that.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Sahai, so much for joining us on the show and sharing your views. So, important aspects that Dr. Sahai was mentioning as well with regards to what the ask is, what the preparedness is of the exporters as well from here on. So, a lot of moving parts that we have been talking about, but what comes out of the meeting with the Commerce Ministry is going to be absolutely crucial, and basis that what the preparedness of all the exporters is going to be across industries, because the tariffs with regards to the reciprocal ones is something that will be coming into effect from April onwards. So we're just around 15 to 18 days away from that aspect as well. So that's with regards to the entire scenario in terms of the plan of action that India will have against US tariffs.